I'm Ben.
And I'm Ben.
We just hit Colombia.
Now we're going to teach you about it.
Now let's begin with Colombia's geography. Colombia is located in the South American continent, particularly in the north, with it being the connection to Central America, bordering the nation of Panama. On the topic of borders, Panama, Peru, Venezuela, Brazil, and Ecuador all act as Colombia. With its somewhat large size, you can for sure see a diverse makeup of volcanoes, grasslands, mountains, and beaches. You can also find a jungle biome located around the border with Panama in the north. Running along the western border of the South America, the Andes Mountains bring the elevation to Colombia. Its tallest peak, however, comes from a smaller mountain range, the Sierra Nevada de Santa Maria, where Pico Cristobal Colon is the tallest peak of 19,000 feet up. It seems to be that with Colombia, the more east you go, the flatter the land surrounding you gets. The Orinoco region is where you can find a lot of the grasslands and river Colombia has to offer. Moving on to the climate of Colombia, you must know that it's very close to the equator. This inherently means the climate is going to generally be more warm and tropical. The summer months of June to August bring the heat along with the dry weather. Ending with the watershed in Colombia, Colombia houses numerous rivers with its proximity to the Amazon region. It also has access to two oceans, being the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic.
To begin with, Colombia is a presidential participatory democratic republic. Colombia is broken up into three different governmental branches, like the US: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch. The president, who is head of state and head of government, is elected every 4 years in a general election, like in the USA. Furthermore, for their legislative branch, Colombia has a Congress made of a 166-person Chamber of Representatives and a 102-seat Senate. Lastly, for the branch is the judicial branches, which is headed by four courts: the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Court, Council of State, and Superior Council. Colombia is a member of the United Nations and the Pacific Alliance, which it has a founder of. Finally, Colombia is divided into 32 departments, which are then divided further in municipalities, which are each headed by a mayor and council. Colombia is a culmination of many different cultures from all over the world, but mainly Hispanic regions. A huge part of Colombian culture is cinema, with Colombia hosting one of the largest film festivals in the world in their capital, Bogota. When it comes to sport, soccer or football is the most popular in Colombia. However, Tejo is Colombia's national sport, which involves throwing a projectile and trying to hit a target. Shockingly, Colombia is a hub for both cycling and roller skating alike, known to be very good internationally at both. Colombia has produced terrific athletes in boxing, Formula One, and especially baseball. To further expand on culture is cuisine. Colombian dishes include a wide variety of meats, vegetables, and fruits. Not so surprisingly, Colombia is a top consumer of fruit juices due to being in such a humid and tropical region. Good representations of Colombian food include sancocho, arepas, empanadas, mamona, tamales, and arroz con coco. Representative desserts include bocadillo, flan de mango, and cocadas. Inhabitants of Colombia dates back as far as 18,000 BC in Puerto Hormigo. Indigenous people inhabited the land from 12,500 BC. From 5000 to 1000 BC, a slow transition from hunting and gathering to farming took place, and pottery arose in the advancement. While native prospered, Europeans first found Colombia in the early 1500s, and the first settlement, named Santa Fe de Bogota, came in 1538. They quickly set their eyes on power, pitting local tribes against each other in order to win and maintain dominance. In the area, Spain continued to dominate the region so intensely that in 1739, when Britain declared war on Spain, they targeted large towns in Colombia. After a long revolt, Colombia earned its freedom in 1819. Since then, Colombia has prospered, as many other countries in that region, with a lot of influence from the USA. However, since the 1960s, there have been great armed battles between various groups in Colombia and the government, but President Alvaro Uribe greatly reduced this in his time in office from 2002 to 2010, and President Santos also helped, even earning a Nobel Peace Prize in 2016.
Now, let's get into some historical and famous figures from Colombia, starting with Shakira. Born in 1977, the songwriter was born in the city of Barranquilla and is known for a Latin pop style of music. She began her career in Colombia, later leaving around 20 years old. Her father isn't actually of Colombian descent, but rather Lebanese, making her ethnically half Colombian. Another famous songwriter with Colombian roots would be J Balvin. Born in 1985, J Balvin grew up in Medellin, Colombia, and began his music career in the early 2000s. A prominent figure from Colombia's 20th century history would be Pablo Escobar. Born in 1949, Pablo Escobar was a drug-lording criminal and created the Medellin cartel. He made millions manufacturing and running a drug empire. This would eventually come to an end after a long manhunt leading to his death. Now let's move on to some fun facts about the nation of Colombia. Colombia's location makes it a very diverse place, and with it comes the advantage of over 60 national parks, all full of vegetation and wildlife, giving Colombia a mega diversity type of status. Speaking of national parks, try checking out the Coral Islands National Park, with its stunning coastline close to the city of Cartagena. Colombia can be found to have some very interesting natural resources. This includes it being the largest exporter of emeralds in the world, with it also being one of the largest for coffee and mineral fuels. Some of you may have already made the distinction, but the nation of Colombia gets its name from the famed Italian explorer Christopher Columbus. He didn't actually discover the region, though, but rather an explorer named Alonso de Ojeda. In a quick summary, and I mean quick, Colombia is a unique gem in an affluent part of the globe. Its tropical weather, corresponding coastlines, size, and culture all make it its own nation, brought up by its rich history. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next country. Bye.